Hello to my 3 viewers. We're just going to wait a few more minutes for some people to join us. Thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, five's a party. Welcome to all of the people who have joined us today for our Facebook Live presentation. So like many of you have seen before, we are promoting the Listos California campaign, which has a goal of focusing on sharing education to underserved populations on emergency preparedness. So that includes anyone who doesn't necessarily have access to the resources sometimes that that is necessary to prepare. So our theme for this week is fire preparedness. Fire preparedness is an important topic because we live in California, and it's one of the highest risks, or California is at one of the highest risks of fire. Both fire, we have forest fires and home fires. So mainly what we're going to be covering today is forest fires, or excuse me, home fires. So why cover fire preparedness right now? We're in the middle of a pandemic, and there's so many more things to worry about. Why are we going to start worrying about fires? So I just like to share this tweet from the governor, where he shared that last year there was 675 wildfires from January, which is the start of the new year, to May 10th. So it's similar to where the time we're at now. And since this year alone, we've had 1,130 fires. So that's a 60% increase from 1 year to the next. So it's important for us to realize that we need to pay attention to the things that cause fires and do our best to prevent things, because fires can cause an extreme amount of damage. So some tips. This is taken directly from the ready.gov website, which I will go more into depth what you can get more information from. So here's an explanation on what fire is. Fire is fast, fire is hot, fire is dark, and fire is deadly. To me, that translates as fire is bad. So we want to make sure that we remember that fire can spread quickly. Like in the description here, it says it can spread within 30 seconds. It's hot, so we all know that heat rises to the top of a building, so it can be at 100 degrees down at the floor and up to 600 degrees at eye level. So if you are ever caught in a fire, the idea is you want to drop low and crawl through the building that you're in to make sure you are safe and can get out of the fire. Fire is dark. This is referring more to the smoke. While yes, the flame is bright, when fire is burning something, you're going to see black smoke. It's going to be dark. It's going to be black. It's going to be ugly looking. When you see the white smoke, that's typically when somebody is trying to extinguish the fire. And that's why we can get confused sometimes. And the last part is fire is deadly. So one, burns are very deadly to us. We're not meant to tolerate extreme heat like that. Also, the gases that are produced from whatever's being burned can cause you to be disoriented and drowsy. And we can also suffocate from the smoke. That's another word for asphyxiation. Well, hello, welcome to all of you who are joining us. I just went over a few tips with fire. So I want to go into some more tips. So here are some just ideas of the ways you can protect your home or even your workplace. Is remembering to know where the fire extinguisher is. Make sure your smoke detectors are working. And this picture here is a little bit of an exaggeration. We have quite a few plugs in one outlet. The idea is you don't want that to happen. You should have a maximum of one power strip or one extension cord per outlet. And then another thing here is we have the frayed extension cord. I know a lot of us have the mentality, oh, it still works, it's fine, we don't have to worry about it. But really, it's a big fire hazard, and we want to make sure to either repair or replace any frayed exposed wires. And another example of this where we see this quite a bit is with our phone chargers, especially when they're starting to fray at the end and it's holding on to its last breath. We want to do the best to continue to share or to take care of our cords or replace the cords when needed to. So a couple things I wanted to go over with the fire extinguisher. I know a lot of us, sometimes we take them out of our home because they're beeping very annoyingly. So I have one here with me today. I'm going to exit out of my PowerPoint here. So here we have a fire extinguisher. I just literally pulled this off the ceiling right now to show you guys. It's small, it's compact. We always want to make sure that it has its battery here, which is I can get it out, 9-volt battery, one of the big square ones. So we're going to put that in here. And the one thing that the ready.gov website recommends is that we take the time to test our fire extinguishers once a month. So the way you test your fire extinguishers is you're going to find a button here. Mine doesn't really look like a button. It looks more like a tab. And you're just going to hold onto the button and it's going to make a sound to show you that it's working. So here we go. That's the sound. It's very loud, kind of scary, but that is a way of testing your fire extinguisher, showing you that it's functional. So back to our little PowerPoint here. In just a moment, sorry, technical difficulties. So those are ways to protect your home in order to prevent a fire. And I will get a little bit more in depth with fire extinguishers. I know sometimes fire extinguishers can raise some more questions. So another important thing in remembering or preparing for fires, especially in your home, is having an evacuation plan. This is important because we practice this at school. We might even practice this at work. If you have kids, your kids probably work. Oh, I have a comment here from Angela. She says, smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors are so important. Yes, they're extremely important. And it's extremely important that we make sure they stay functioning. Excuse me, need some water here. So as I was saying, it's important to have an evacuation plan for your home. If you live in an apartment complex, you might be a little bit more fortunate to have, excuse me, a map outside of your home that says where you're supposed to go, where your fire exits are, basically showing you where to evacuate in the event of a fire. When you're a homeowner or you rent a home, we don't have that luxury as to where we are going to exit when a fire is occurring. So it's important to remember where you're going to exit from. In the situation that I am right now, the bedroom that I am, it's probably better for me to exit through the window than the door, because the door leads me to a hallway. Then I have to go down the hallway, and from the hallway, I have to go out the front door. That's a lot of time in between, and I might have to cross some danger zones. So it's better that I exit out of the window. So it's important that we, especially now that we're at home, we're with our family, usually our excuse is, oh, I never see my family. How am I supposed to make a plan? We're always so busy. This is the time to be able to go and make your evacuation plan and have something ready to go, just like we've been enforcing through all of our other live videos. We want you to plan ahead, be prepared, because you never know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. So our next slide here is, I want to go over a little bit of the fire triangle. So this is in the case that it's a small fire and possibly maybe you can put it out. The idea is you would want to take away one of the elements. So the three elements that cause a fire, we have oxygen, heat, and fuel. So in order for you to put the fire out, just eliminate one of those elements. Obviously, it can be easier said than done depending on the type of fire. Usually the easiest for us would be to suffocate the fire or remove the oxygen. And that's done with extinguishers, or sometimes if it's something, you can get a wet rag, depending on the size of the fire, depending on how safe it is for you to actually extinguish that fire for you. So the next thing I wanted to go over with you guys is the types of extinguishers. And of course, there are so many different types of extinguishers. There's a wide array of extinguishers. Excuse me. But you don't have to have every single kind in your home. You want to have the best one, the most practical for you would be the ABC powder extinguisher. I say that because it is pretty much an overall use. You can use it on many different fires. So the ABC fire extinguisher is what we recommend. You'll see the ABC written on the tag. And that is most important for your home, or to keep it in your car. And then some people have the question, though, what about the K fire extinguishers what about the K fire extinguishers for the kitchen? And typically those are more industrial, more kitchen-like restaurant style. Those restaurants that are dealing with more oil, as we all know, oil can be a little bit more extreme when it comes to fires. So that's when you would need to go out and purchase a K extinguisher. So the use of an extinguisher. I'm sure a lot of us have seen this abbreviation or acronym. We want to pull the pin, which is the P in pass, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, squeeze the lever slowly, and sweep from side to side. So another important tip I want to give you is make sure you want to maintain a certain distance from the fire. Obviously, if it's too big, don't even worry about it. Just get yourself out and safe. So then the next thing you would want to consider is the sweeping motion. The idea is that you're just not, your goal is to suffocate the oxygen flow to the fire. So that is preventing further oxygen to reach the fire to burn more. And for those of you who have never seen a fire extinguisher in use, I have a little video, just a small clip. So this is from a CERT training done in Moreno Valley. You can always look into your local CERT training. Each city has some, so you're always welcome to look into that and look into volunteering to that. But I paused this video because I wanted to point out the space between the fire and myself. It's a large space. We don't want to get too close. We don't want to burn ourselves. We don't want to risk putting ourselves in danger. The next thing we want to pay attention to is that we're hitting the base of the fire. If you're hitting the top of the fire, it's not going to get put out. So we're just going to play the video through. Sorry, we were a little excited. And then, of course, we want to move in a sweeping motion. So this was a water extinguisher for training purposes. Obviously, it'd be a lot to use other extinguishers in a training situation, but the idea is you want to sweep to make sure that fire gets put out. So that's all I really have on fire preparedness. If you really have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Or if you are more interested in looking at more tips to prevent fires in your home, or if you want to start your preparedness plan, these are two great resources. So we have ready.gov, that's READY.gov. And then we have the San Bernardino County app. So that's Ready SB County. What I love so much about this app is you download it from the App Store or the Google Play Store. As soon as you log in, you're more than welcome to just put how many family members you have and how many days you want to prepare for. So it'll show you how much water you're going to need in case of an emergency or natural disaster. And another little announcement that I have here for you is that we are hosting a live Zoom presentation with Loma Linda University. They are going to give us some tips on now what to do with COVID-19. This is for our Spanish speaking participants. So if you understand Spanish, you're more than welcome to join us. That will be on Wednesday, May 20th. All of the information has been posted on a flyer today. So don't worry, it's already on our Facebook if you want more to log in on Wednesday. And most importantly, what I need from all of you today is that you fill out this Survey Monkey. The link is right here on the screen. We need this information for demographics. It's not collecting anything personal or any personal information. We just really need this information to count for numbers, as we as an organization have set up a large goal to reach out to individuals throughout San Bernardino County. So this is just to make sure you count as you receive this education. I hope you all enjoyed this time. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. Thank you all for tuning in. I see a lot of you had said hello. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. I'll stick around for a little bit. Thank you, great information. Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for listening to this information, and hopefully you all will enjoy. If some of our Spanish speaking people out there didn't quite understand what I had to say, don't worry, the information will be shared with you on Friday this week. So if you want more information in Spanish, you'll be more than welcome to join us on Friday at 6 p.m. And thank you all for your time. Please don't forget to fill out the survey. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for tuning in.